Hey everyone, Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the week of January 11th, 2020. Very big week in astrology. I think that perhaps myself and some other astrologers as well, perhaps we underestimated the astrology of last week. But the truth of the matter is, I think now that Mars is in Taurus along with Uranus, and even though they're not quite together yet, they are going to meet in the sky, so they are applying to each other. And this is going to be big shakeups and unpredictability, and possibly even violence, I hate to say. So there are a lot of unpredictable energies going on, especially for January and February. It does look like it will get a little bit better after that, but there will be social unrest probably pretty much all year. I honestly did not expect what happened in the nation, in the United States, until like the 20th or around the 20th of January. So it will be interesting to see how that energy manifests on that day. But for this week, we have a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon because if you remember, we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January last year. It was right around exactly the same time. And this is what, like, we didn't know it at the time. I mean, astrologers predicted that there was going to be a major restructuring, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So think back to January of last year when you had really no idea that a wrecking ball was coming through your life. And, you know, you were kind of like, we were kind of like sitting ducks, really. You know, even though astrologers knew that something big was coming, we just couldn't really put our finger on it. We really knew that what I kept thinking was, you know, Donald Trump was going to go down, or, you know, like the structure, the political structure was going to go down. And that was true to some extent, but it was a lot more than that. So anyway, this new moon is going to reactivate whatever you were kind of blindsided with in January. So whatever you started in January, or whatever, you know, whatever that meant for you, that restructuring of your life, whatever completely changed, this is kind of bringing that wound back up. However, we're starting a new cycle on it, and we are hopefully going to manifest a new energy and rebuilding energy on that same degree. So the fact that this new moon is at the same degree just shows that, you know, the universe knows what it's doing. And you're going to be you're not going to be a sitting duck anymore. You're going to be aware of how you have to change, how you have to empower yourself, because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, which is very intense. So intense emotions, you know, stepping into the higher manifestation of this is stepping into your power more fully, reconstructing your life. But this time you're doing it with knowledge. You are not, you know, just kind of sitting there and then boom, something happens and changes your life. It's more like you're empowered now. And Pluto is really about evolution. So what did you learn in the past year? How are you going to apply what you learned in the past year? The biggest thing too with Pluto, I think, is intentions. If you have good intentions, I believe that, you know, you'll get the higher manifestation, hopefully. But if you have manipulative, or if you have, you know, harmful intentions, then, you know, you might manifest the lower side, you know, of Pluto. And, you know, that can lead to all kinds of, you know, not pleasant things like, fighting and violence and things like that. So we want to keep it at the highest vibration possible. You're going to take what you learned and you're going to have a priority shift. You're shifting your priorities now. And the structures that you have built have been torn. How are you going to rebuild them? That's the question that this new moon is asking you. And you should set your intentions as well. And Pluto is very deep. It's very emotional and very deep. So it's important to sit with that energy. And, where was your power taken away? How are you going to take back that power? So we have this, and then we have Mars, in Taurus along with Uranus, and that is shakeups in foundations, money, shakeups, shakeups in resources, because Taurus is all about resources. So there's going to be those, there's going to be that instability or that unpredictability. And as if this new moon wasn't enough, conjunct Pluto, we're also going to have Uranus go direct like a day later. So Uranus going direct is going to be all about freedom and independence from a situation that it's going to be empowering. It's going to free you, and it's going to free you from some wounds as well. So we have a big week in astrology this week. Let's see where this falls in your sign. Hello, Gemini. So Gemini, we have Mercury, your planet, squaring Uranus on Tuesday. So when I look at this, I think, just be careful what you say in legal matters, higher education. Somebody could be triggering you. So you just want to be mindful. Words can cause you to react erratically. Just remember to maintain control. We're going to have a lot of that this year. So you just want to maintain control as much as possible and be dignified in your responses. This could be shakeups with technology too. I know Geminis are very sensitive to, the internet going down or technological problems when Mercury is not in the best aspect. So this is a difficult aspect, so it's possible that you could have some issues now. But moving on, Wednesday we have the new moon conjunct Pluto in exactly the same place where we were January of 2020. So big deal, big deal here. For you, this is in the 8th house. So, this is you're not a stranger to this. This is like you had a wrecking ball come through your life, and it was in the 8th house. The 8th house had to do with joint finances. It had to do with intimacy. It had to do with psychic abilities. It has to do with secrets. Okay. So this is, or deep psychological thoughts too are here. And, the wrecking ball came through and flattened everything. And now we have to set new intentions and start rebuilding this area of life. So we have to evolve. Pluto is all about evolution, right? Remember, I think I talked about this before. We go to the depths of hell before we can get to the higher, heaven. And we're setting new intentions in this area. So how are you going to do joint finances in the future? How are you going to do intimacy in the future? How are you going to, what did you learn about secrets? And how are you going to apply the lessons that you learned there? How are you going to deal with money? There's a priority shift going on here. You can't go back to where you were. You just have to keep stepping forward. And Venus is going to square Chiron at the same time. So we're talking about wounds here that have to do with groups that you belong to, hopes, wishes, and dreams that maybe you had that are, gone now. And we have to look at them, we have to sit with them, and then we have to apply what we learned. We have to have the intentions of doing better. And we also have the day after, Thursday, the 14th, we have Uranus going direct. So think about what was going on in August. And that was when Uranus went retrograde. But when Uranus goes forward, he's going to shake us free from something. So this is freedom from some kind of situation. And for you, this has to do with a few things. It has to do with connection to spirit. It has to do with being behind the scenes. It could be related to some kind of technology that you are, using. So there's something here where, you're being kind of set free. This is the area of the chart too where people go where you can't really be seen to, like in institutions, like hospitals, jails. This is also karma. So you could be freeing yourself from karma as well. But there's a very harmonious trine to this 8th house. So whatever is happening to shake you free is also supporting your new efforts with, those new moon intentions. So the rebuilding that you're doing in that 8th house, the rebuilding that you're doing in the joint finances, the intimacy, the psychic abilities, now is supported, okay? And with Uranus in the 12th, as long as you are conscious of it, those shakeups are going to shake you free and lead to more independence and self-love and blessings ultimately. So this is the astrology for the week. I think it'll be a really good week for you.